Hey there, welcome to Spirit of a Handyman. Today I'm going to show you how I put in this banister and how difficult that was.
He's got the spirit of a handyman, a handyman.
Hey, welcome to Spirit of a Handyman. Today I'm going to install a new handrail or banister, what do you call those things, on this flight of steps because it is not safe as it currently is. We have this wonky do-wag here. So I'm going to try to tackle putting in some spindles and a handrail and touching this cat. I've never tried this before, but if I can do it on my first try, then you can do it on your first try. So I hope that this video empowers you and gives you a chance to do it yourself and just feel like you can do it. So here goes nothing. This is the railing I'm trying to match. So this is kind of the design. I've watched some other YouTube videos where the guys took these posts all the way down into the step, but this design is with this like that thing that's called a thing. Post, I can add a word that describes what that is. So running from the banister to that, I'm gonna call it a skirt thing. So right now I don't have a skirt thing.
That's not the right word.
So step one is gonna be trimming back this carpet, trimming back this little thing, and then adding a piece of wood here to create the skirt thing so that the banisters can go from the top edge of the steps up to the rail. I don't have a fancy miter saw or anything. I'm just using a hand saw and this cheap tee from Home Depot. So in order to cut this piece, I'm just making a mark where the 45 degrees is, then turning this, use that to draw a line, and then I'll cut along that, and that'll give me another piece like that. And cut this piece of 1x10 so that now creates that side wall. And now we need to get this newel cut so that it sits instead of being like over here. I need to notch it and cut it down so that the newel is centered on this piece of wood. That looks like a pretty decent fit, actually. All right, here's the great conundrum. These spindles have these little doodads on the bottom, not on the top. And so Cora pointed out, like, oh, how cool, like you just put the little spindle things into the slots. That's pretty nifty. Except we are not doing that. We are going here. So that means we need to cut each of these at a diagonal on the bottom and the top, and make sure that they're all exactly the right length.
20.
I hired a mathematician to help me with the angles.
This is 45. We're gonna.
Day 2 on the infamous handrail project. I started to run out of wood. I kept cutting it and got the wrong angles. So here's what I did. I had to go borrow my friend's miter saw. So this miter saw will allow me to do that in a way that will look clean and professional, as opposed to what I have been trying to do, which is with a hand saw and a sander, and it just isn't quite adding up. I think I'm gonna subtitle today's video, why you need a miter saw to do a handrail, and why you need to know what kind of angles you're cutting. This used to be an 8-foot piece of banister, and now I have these 5 beautiful little pieces. This is expensive wood. I don't want to keep messing it up. So this is going to be my new long piece, and then I can cut one of these down to be the short connection to kind of bridge this spot here. Isaiah, do you think we can do it?
Yes.
I'm going to try to teach Isaiah how to do these angles and see if we can figure it out. This is just a scrap piece of wood I'm using to make my first cut, just to make sure the angles are right. And sure enough, that's my 50-degree angle, and that goes flush with the stair. That 50-degree cut is gonna be my first piece. So 50 degrees going up, now I have to figure out the top, right? Because I can't keep it flat. If I did another 50-degree angle up at the top, that would work. But then I have this big piece from here to here that the handrail would need to connect to. So I think what I need to do up here is do 25 degrees and 25 degrees. Let's test that hypothesis. I've finally done it. Okay, tried to do this using a 50-degree angle and a 40-degree angle up here. That didn't work. So here's what I was missing. Your angle here, whatever the grade is, so this is a 50-degree angle from there to there, which means I also need a 50-degree angle up here. But if I did a 50-degree angle from here to here, that wouldn't work. So I need to cut that in half, divide it in half, and make each of those cuts. So 25 degrees, 25 degrees, and then those come together perfectly, and then that is horizontal, true, going directly into the post. So I'm gonna make a 50-degree angle cut on my handrail, 2 25s, and then a 90, and that should look perfect. So here was my method using a circular saw, like a hand saw and a sander. Here it is using the miter saw. Measured twice, cut once. Wrong angle. I need it to go the other way.
I can't get the bottom one.
So there's the angle we want, and all they sell at Home Depot is a 90-degree clamp, but we need to find a way to get this Gorilla Glue. We need to find a way to get the Gorilla Glue to stick. So we're going to try to throw a little brad nailer into the top up here, and then maybe put some duct tape on it until it sets. So that'll hold for about 20 or 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and try it. All right, so here's our handrail. Put a little piece of tape on it. Isaiah, go ahead and pull on it. See if you can bust it. Isaiah's allergic to cats. Ouch. Pull on it really hard. Go ahead. Let's take the tape off.
Okay.
Go ahead, really give it a try. Nice. So this is our plan. We're gonna put some spindles. I'd like to put one like right on that seam, and then maybe drop 3 or 4 there, maybe 1 here. All right, so I'm just dropping a couple nails in there. A couple nails down here. We'll do a couple more posts and then be done. So I'm hoping that someday I'm gonna look back on this video and go like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. But the fact is I did it. So you kind of have to go through this rough carpentry stage before you can get to the more advanced stuff. And the fact is I did this by myself, so I didn't have to pay anybody to do it. It did take all of, like 8 hours. So there's that. So I mean, that's not a free element, but if you're trying to save money, you can do it. This was a pretty difficult carpentry job. I would not recommend this with a hand saw. I tried to do it by myself with this circular saw. This is definitely a miter saw kind of job. I would recommend it with an air nailer. That also became a clutch tool. But otherwise, it's just a lot of trial and error. Bring a lot of scrap wood and be ready to get frustrated along the way. So here goes building a handrail on Spirit of a Handyman. I hope this was super helpful for you. This is not like a how-to video. This is more just like how I did, and hopefully that means that you can too. So I hope that this empowers you and makes you feel like, yeah, I can tackle that job. That bozo over there at Spirit of a Handyman did. I want to empower the spirit of a handyman in all of us. Get out there and go start building. We'll catch you next time for more Spirit of a Handyman.
He's got the spirit of a handyman.
Wow.
A handyman.
Cool. That's cool, Dad. Dad, when we saw you, we were shooting you.
Oh, you saw me through the window?
Mm-hmm.